It don't matter where we go, it don't matter where we stay tonight. 'Cause when I'm with you, yeah, I know everything will be alright. It don't matter what we say, it don't matter how we make things right. 'Cause when I'm with you, yeah, I know everything.
So about half a year ago, I've checked out the Tronsmart Bang and it was quite a cool speaker, really big in size, and well, it does pump out quite a bit of power for your party audio needs. Today we're checking out Tronsmart's latest speaker into the Bang family, and this time the Mini is also here to give you almost the same power at a much smaller package. So the speaker today was sent over to me by Tronsmart for review, and although they were sent over to me, no money has exchanged hands, and this review is based on my experience and opinion about them. So this speaker retails for 396 Malaysian ringgit, and that's about 88 US dollars, so it's slightly cheaper than the bigger brother by a tiny bit. But is it worth getting the smaller one over the original Bang? So let's find out. And if you're interested in buying this speaker, do check out my links in the description below. So yeah, because I have a wide angle lens here, it doesn't really portray that well, but comparing the size between these two speakers, the Bang Mini is only a tiny bit smaller than the original Bang that I have here at the back. So I would say length-wise, it's about 2 inches shorter, so just about 2 inches shorter. And if you see from the side, you can also see that the passive radiators on the Mini here is a tad bit smaller than the original, which is a lot bigger. So apart from that, I actually much prefer the build quality of the Bang Mini because it feels a little bit smoother and less sharp, and that was one of the things that I mentioned about the original Bang, where the edges feels a little bit sharp, so you can hear. And this one, much smoother. So one key aspect that is now missing in the Mini is the light bar across the front. So you can see at the back here where I have the original Bang, you get this light bar, and the new one doesn't have that anymore. So now it only comes with the side LEDs, and it's targeted to those who want a more subtle, less intrusive look. So I guess it now caters for a larger crowd. But personally, if the Mini had the light bar in front, I would love it even more. And if I were to compare the LED, it does look like the Mini LED does look a little bit less bright compared to the original. So I think this one is a lot brighter in person. I'm not sure whether it translates well in video, but this is a lot brighter than this. Just like so. Another key difference here is the buttons that Tronsmart uses, where the original Bang had a more rubbery texture button which is quite firm and hard to press. The Mini has a smoother rubber finish and it's also much easier to press. And another good thing here is that the new Mini comes with a white icon button, which the original is just blacked out, so it's very hard to see. So this is also a welcoming feature. So another main difference between the two is the on and off sound between these two speakers, where the Bang sounds really basic and not very exciting. The Mini now sounds a lot more dynamic and lively. So let's take a listen. So I'm going to turn on the original Bang first. So that's how it sounds like. And now I'm going to turn on the new Bang Mini. And now I'm going to turn off the original Bang. And now I'm turning off the Bang Mini. So another reason I would gravitate towards the Bang Mini is because of the speaker setup, and playing them both side by side together, you can definitely hear the sound difference. And the original Bang came with 2 mid-range front-firing speakers and 2 front-facing tweeters with 2 passive radiators at the side. And the Bang Mini now comes with 2 mid-range front-firing speakers and 2 rear woofers with 3 passive radiators, 2 at the side and 1 at the front. Speaker count wise, definitely the Mini has a lot more speaker and a lot more lower end thumb. So playing music back to back, you can hear the Mini is softer, slightly softer due to the lower wattage, but it sounds so much more dynamic compared to the Bang, and it performs best when you place the Bang Mini on the floor with the woofer facing the wall. We'll talk more about sound quality later on. So similar to the Bang, the ports can be found at the back of the speaker, and pulling away this very thick rubber flap, you see a couple of ports inside, so I'm not too sure whether it translates well in video. But here what you're going to get is a USB Type A port for using it as a USB input, or you can also output it to charge your phone, since this acts like a power bank. Next to that, you're going to get a 3.5mm auxiliary jack. You're also going to get a micro SD card slot, and lastly, you're going to get get a Type-C charging port to charge up the speaker. So as mentioned earlier, one thing I didn't like about the Bang's control is that it's all blacked out in color, which makes it really hard to see, especially in dark situations. So in the case of the Mini, they painted the icons white so it's easier to see. Would be nice to see a littered version next time. That would be really cool. So here you're going to get a power button, and above that you're going to get 4 LEDs to tell you the battery percentage of the speaker when you plug it in. Next to that you're going to get a volume button, which also acts as track skipping, and also a play or pause button in the middle. Next to that you're going to get the sound pulse button to switch the EQ of the speaker. Because this speaker doesn't connect to the Tronsmart app, so that's all the EQ that you're going to get. You're also going to get a link button, which the speakers can now link 2 speakers together so you can have a stereo setup. This is also different compared to the Bang, which the Bang will have the tune con, which connects up to 100 plus of the same speaker. So the last button here is to adjust the LED of the speaker. So if you are playing music, it will always dance to the music. But if you don't have music playing, you can toggle it between pulsing mode or cycle them, or as well as turn off them. So that's all the controls you get with this speaker. So battery life here is also good, and without the LEDs, both the Bang and Bang Mini have about 15 hours of battery life, but with the LED turned on, you're gonna get 8 hours with the bigger Bang and 5 hours with the Mini. So that's where the smaller battery has a disadvantage. So if you absolutely need a longer battery life with the LED on, then the Bang will be your option. So charging this speaker is slightly faster at 4 hours compared to 4.5 hours on the Bang. The volume on the Bang Mini fixes a problem with the Bang that I didn't like, and the Bang has a very weird jump between 5% and 10%, where 5% is barely audible and suddenly 10% is decently loud. With the Mini, it's more linear and it doesn't shock you with a loud volume. A comfortable volume is about 20% and it starts to get loud at about 45%. You should be able to fill a small living room with loud music, and the speaker just keeps going louder and louder, so you definitely have plenty of range for this speaker, especially if you want to play it outdoors. The Bang Mini compared to the Bang is a much more modern speaker, coming in with a Bluetooth 5.3 chipset with only the SBC codec as well. And for a speaker like that, it does make sense, since it doesn't make sense to increase the price with a more premium chipset, and people are not really using these speakers for details. The speaker is also IPX6 water resistant rated, so you can definitely bring this to your parties, your pool parties, and getting them wet without any problems, but try not to submerge it since IPX6 is not waterproof, and always remember to keep the flaps behind closed. And you can also conveniently connect these speakers via NFC for easy connectivity. And finally, you don't get the TuneCon feature on the Bang Mini, so you can pair this up with 100 plus of the same speaker, so you don't get that. But you can also daisy chain 2 of these speakers together for maximum stereo enjoyment. Oh, and one more thing, the Bang supports the Tronsmart app and the Bang Mini doesn't. So like I've mentioned earlier, the speaker here sounds a lot more dynamic compared to the original Bang, thanks to the additional woofers at the back of the speaker, but you need to know how to place them to maximize its sound. So if you just put it on your desk, it's not really gonna sound that great. I found that it sounds best when you put it on a solid floor and have its back facing the wall. That will give you the best result, because that will help rebound the woofer sound to your room. But again, these speakers are not one you buy for enjoying high-res audio. Its purpose is to play music loud in outdoor spaces, and just like the Bang, it does that extremely well. But because of the 10 watts difference, you can hear the volume difference between both of them. The bass here is also much better than the Bang, but definitely cannot compete with dedicated subwoofers. And apart from that, mids and highs are pretty decent. It doesn't sound like any high-end speakers, but good enough to project audio long and far. You can also hear the highs here do get messy sometimes and are not as crispy or pristine, but then again, that's the sacrifice you need for a loud party speaker.
Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause 2 wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell?
So this is a test to see if the Tronsmart Bang Mini is a good speaker for making phone calls. So this is me speaking in a relatively quiet environment, and this is the call quality that you can expect. So what I'm going to do now is to turn on a simulated background noise so you can hear a difference. So now there's a simulated background noise playing in the background, and this is the call quality that you can expect from this speaker. So what do you think of the call quality? Let me know in the comment section down below. So compared to the Bang, the Mini performs much better in game latency in PUBG thanks to the newer chipset. Latency here is kept to a minimum as well and is well controlled, so gaming feels pretty nice. And similar to movies and videos, they feel snappy and fast without any syncing issues. Anyways, let's take a look at the latency performance of this speaker. So you do save about $30 with this new speaker, and I strongly urge that you get this one instead of the Bang, since every aspect of this speaker is a lot better. You do lose out app control and the TuneCon feature, but if you ask me, you're not really missing out too much with this. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere, and if you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.